Welcome to Royal News Updates.
OMG. What you have done, sir, is quite frankly despicable. An open letter to Prince Harry. Before we start, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon, thanks. Sir, I am an ordinary citizen of the United Kingdom, a loyal and patriotic subject of Her Majesty the Queen of England. In the circumstances, it is entirely appropriate, with the utmost respect to you, that your attention is not only once again drawn to the unwelcome recent sequence of events largely precipitated by you and your wife, but also to the ensuing fallout that this has caused. Both you and your wife have opted to very publicly level wholly unsubstantiated accusations of racism, indifference and emotional trauma at thus far unnamed members of the royal family, your family, sir. Why you both feel the need to engage the media that you profess to loathe in this vendetta I cannot understand, nor can many millions of our fellow countrymen. The British public at large were absolutely thrilled that you had found someone with whom you clearly share such a unique bond. Your future wife was welcomed with open arms, and on the day of your wedding you had people thronged together lining the streets of Windsor to show their joy at your happiness on your special day. The weather was similarly glorious to add to the genuine mood of celebration for you and your wife. In the ensuing years since that wonderful day at St. George Chapel, your popularity in this country has plummeted with the onset of widespread anger and disgust, increasing in intensity each time you decide to air your dirty laundry in public. This is sadly an inescapable fact and one in which I personally take absolutely no pleasure in pointing out, along with many millions of people in both this country and the United States. You were born into a unique and enigmatic family, who have provided a haven and rallying point for the people of this country for centuries. Your family is an incredibly significant ingredient in the glue that binds us all together, and for you to unilaterally attack and defame their integrity is quite frankly despicable. Many millions of people have suffered emotional trauma in some or other way throughout the world, so this is not unique to you. This does not of course make the loss of your mother in any way insignificant or indeed less tragic. The pain and sense of loss that both you and your brother, the Duke of Cambridge, have endured remains raw, and was also deeply felt by millions of others the length and breadth of this country. This was proven beyond any doubt with only a glance at the crowds in London on that day of the memorial for your mother at the Abbey. In your statement preceding your departure from frontline royal duties you solemnly pledged to always uphold the values of the monarchy. Well, sir, you have a mighty strange way of showing it. How does your professed loyalty to the crown square with your present outbursts of spite and anger? Does your grandmother deserve any of this? Does the memory of your late grandfather warrant being dragged through the mud simply as a selfish act of misguided catharsis on your part? I certainly do not believe so, and many millions of people agree with me. You oftentimes make no secret of your disdain and loathing of the press, who you accuse of a constant imposition into your private life. Yes, the press is a part of the everyday existence of public figures, and you are certainly no exception to this, but it goes with the turf. The added dimension in your case, however, is that the only acceptable press coverage when it comes to you and your wife is only that which fits the narrative put out by your spin doctors in La La Land. The sad truth of the matter is that you are enraged you couldn't have it both ways. You couldn't enjoy the kudos that you seem to believe is your right along with cashing in on your status as both you and your wife would have wished. As I am sure your grandmother, your father and your brother made clear to you at what has been dubbed the Sandringham Summit, you cannot have your cake and eat it. You are either in or you are out, the best of both worlds is just not an option. Both you and your wife have the unfortunate habit of trying to portray yourselves as victims, when in fact nothing could be further from the truth. Your public outburst seeking sympathy on the back of launching entirely misguided attacks on your family looks very much like a cynical publicity stunt based it seems on a litany of inaccuracies. Your flirtation with wokery is likewise an entirely self-serving exercise in the promotion of brand Sussex, loaded with gross hypocrisy and preaching to the world at large. Your PR team and other strategic media-embedded mouthpieces display breathtaking ignorance of our heritage and culture, a fact that you ought to know full well. You have regrettably allowed yourself to blur the lines between celebrity and royalty, for which there is no excuse for you or even your wife for that matter. You have given up everything you have known up to this point in seeking a new life in the United States, although you were very definitely badly advised in making recent comments about the US Constitution First Amendment, about which you clearly know nothing, and which was in fact an insult to your hosts. You're a guest in that country and you have no right to make remarks like that, especially in view of your family background, which maintains a totally apolitical viewpoint. I could elaborate further on the grossly ill-advised course you have opted to pursue, but until such time as a good hard dose of reality sets in, then there seems little point. As disgusted as I am that I witness a prince of the realm from my country disparaging his family in such a disgraceful way, I nonetheless hope and pray that you find genuine peace and happiness one day. I sincerely hope that you can overcome the demons of your emotional trauma and anger in finding a comfortable balance in your life. Perhaps you should open your eyes wider, open your mind too, and look a little deeper. You might be surprised at what you discover. But just stop with the nonsense of attacking your family. One last point you might be well advised to take on board, sir. You and your wife would be nothing and nobody were it not for the fact that you are the grandson of the Queen of England, the son, brother and uncle of future kings of England. Self-destruction doesn't become you, so drop the hard-done-by rubbish and get a grip. You might just find it eventually pays off in positive ways that you least expected. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe
Please
to
share
our
your
channel.
thoughts in the comment. Thanks.